Allens Hub for Technology, Law and Innovation was launched in March this year. It's a partnership between UNSW's Faculty of Law and Allens. What it is aiming to do is demystify, if you like, the challenges that law faces at the technological frontier, as well as the challenges faced, for example, in legal practice around new kinds of innovation. I started becoming interested in law and technology when I was an undergraduate student. When I finished law school and I knew I wanted to do further study, I wanted to understand why it was that the law struggled so much in managing new technologies and in responding to them, why it was always such a poor fit. So what I did is I did my doctorate at Columbia Law School in New York, looking at technology from the very beginning, really, right through. So what I did in my thesis is, if you like, I created categories to understand these range of issues across technological context, across history, but also across doctrinal contexts, and to try to understand why is it that law struggles to deal with technological change. And that was my thesis, and that has very much driven my research agenda since. I've looked not only at why questions, but also how questions, how institutionally does law manage that process of technological change? How do we keep the law up to date, and what are better ways of doing it? How are other countries doing it, both in particular contexts and at a more general level? So why did I want to create the Hub is very much because I really wanted to deepen my understanding of those questions, but also broaden it. I can't answer all the questions by myself. I need the 31 researchers in the Hub and possibly more to look at in detail, I don't want to skip over the detail, in detail at all the particular issues that arise and to understand them better. And more, I think these are the questions that are facing real clients in a far bigger way perhaps than it did when I was a graduate student. So more and more the questions that people are worried about, the questions that are concerning the general public when we're looking at issues like Cambridge Analytica and the use of data and so forth, are issues about how new technologies are being used, what new companies are doing with people's data, and how that impacts on questions about competitiveness in markets. All of these issues are becoming more and more important. So I think it was the right moment to, if you like, broaden it out from one person's research agenda to a broader institutional base, and to create a platform through that to go beyond academia, to partner with Allens, to partner with industry, to work on the big public policy questions with government, to help ensure that Australia is better able to meet the challenges law faces at the technological frontier. The Hub's agenda over the course of this year is mainly in the 10 streams of research we'll be running through the Hub. One stream of research, which is Flipstream, is also in partnership with the Law Society of New South Wales, and that will spend the year looking at the idea of artificial intelligence and how that impacts lawyers. The other 9 streams are more on the other side of the equation, so they're really looking at the challenges for law at the technological frontier. So issues like data justice, for example, or questions around how having data as an asset affects how you assess the market power of a corporation. Issues around fintech and the regulatory challenges that poses, cybersecurity, and the challenges faced both for law firms, obviously, as institutions holding a lot of client data in protecting their own cybersecurity, as well as the legal issues that arise more broadly across the community in terms of assessing cybersecurity risks and liabilities. We also have streams that are focusing more on access to justice. For example, can we build applications to help migrant workers work out what their rights at work are? We chose Allens as a partner for this initiative because we were really excited at the early meetings we had with Allens that they were interested in the same questions as we were. In other words, we would talk about the research questions that were motivating us in creating the hub, and they would have questions. They would engage with us with a real curiosity, and that was really reassuring that they didn't just want to hand over money, but they wanted to be part of the research process. And what does that mean? We would love to have as many Allens lawyers as possible come along to workshops and engage in dialogue with us around the questions we're asking in those workshops, to come and hear speakers and so forth. We also really want to engage not only with the Allens lawyers, but also with their clients. We want to make sure we're answering the questions that are facing not only legal practitioners, but industry as well. What are the legal challenges they're facing in bringing out new technologies, in innovation? Where did their issues arise? What are the challenges they're facing? And therefore, how do we shape our research agenda to be not only interesting to academics, but really important in the world?